I think we can start now. I'm sure more and more people will come. All right. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the Dingos podcast, the fifth Dingos podcast. Today we're going to be talking with EvoVerses on their project. So, if you'd like to introduce yourself, Alevo and Trispona, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, hello. We are the team of EvoVerses. We are like a small project right now. We are growing, and we are a Pokemon-like, but not Pokemon game. We are first launching on Harmony, later on in other chains, and right now we are trying to build a PvP game and also a story mode game. So that's one of the most important things that differentiate us from other projects. Having a big history, a rich history with lots of missions and quests and different things to do in a live world. Of course, that is something we are far from launch. We have thought about launching the alpha version of that mode in September, but that is something really unique right now in the ecosystem of Harmony and even in other chains. So, yeah, it's a big project with lots of things to do and really interesting, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. It's something new, something that we haven't seen before on Harmony yet. I guess I'd say your biggest competition right now is probably DeFi Mons and GameFi Crossing, because both of your worlds, the three of your worlds probably have monsters in it, and so it will be great to see the innovations from all three projects as well, especially yours.
Yeah.
Trispona, would you like to give it? Oh, sorry.
No, don't worry. I mean, it's really interesting to see different projects inspired on Pokemon. It's like each of those projects have their own ways to do each thing, and I like to follow all the projects just to see how everyone tries to innovate, to think out of the box and find new ideas there. So yeah, it will be really cool to see how everything evolves. And who knows, maybe in the future, instead of trying to compete between each other, we will be collaborating and growing the projects together. I hope so.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful way to put it, and I'm sure down the road there's definitely going to be collaborations between the three projects. Trispona, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Trishpona. Also in our Evo channel, I'm most known as McLuhan. I'm like the director or the manager of the 3D and 2D people. So yeah, I'm directing the art department. Yeah, that's it. Like I try to manage everyone who is working for us on the art department, trying to give them the task so we can move as fast as possible and giving the feedback needed to polish the art we are doing. Like we have some art background. Like I've been doing a 3D art degree, and also focusing on master on video game. So yeah.
Super awesome. The first question I'd like to ask you guys, well, just so that people will get to know you guys better, but where are you guys based, like in the world, in terms, like for us, the Dingos, we're based in a lot of places, but most of us are from Australia. Some people are down far in the UK, but what about you guys?
Well, we are like a team with people in lots of places like USA, Canada, Germany, even Spain. In our case, me and also I think Trishpona and for example Sander that we are from Spain. So yeah, we are a team from lots of places, to be fair.
Yeah, I see. I see. Okay, let's start with the actual like nitty gritty questions.
Wow,
The first few by Kevin. Why is the project's name pluralized?
that's a really cool question because when I was thinking about how to name this project, uh, we had like lots of ideas, some with a meaning, others just cool names. But then I thought about calling this EvoVerse. But it happens that a project with that name exists in another chain, but exists. And also, of course, the Twitter is taken, also Instagram, and almost every social media. So we could do two things. Just take another name, or maybe try to modify it in some way. And we really wanted that name because at the end it really fits our idea. So we thought, hey, since we want to be in several chains in the future, why not just making it EvoVerses? So
But also a cool feature about our name, it is EvoVerses. It's because each Evo comes from a different universe. So they're plural universes. So that's why we also wanted to create the plural name of the word EvoVerse. Like in the future, when you are able to play the video game, you'll be able to kind of see where these Evos are coming from, and you'll see that there are multiple universes.
yeah, it's like you have the reason in lore, but you also have the reason in real life. So we try to like blend reality and the game because every universe is like every blockchain. So you in the game will see that Evos come from different universes. And also you will see that the project is supported in several blockchains. So that the name is like a cool thing. And yeah, but the thing that I'm a little worried is about getting users confused between those two projects. But let's see. Maybe someday our project will be more more famous and we will not be confused with them because maybe our name will be at the top on Google. Maybe that's what we are gonna try.
For sure. Personally, I've never heard of the other EvoVerse, so I don't know how prominent they are. I know for sure
Well, then that's a good step for us.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure when people mention EvoVerse, I think a lot. Well, for the people in Harmony, at least, a lot of them think of your projects first. I really like the way how you tried to when you mentioned how you're blending in reality and the in-game lore. I think you've mentioned this a lot in your white paper and in the way you chat with your community, and the fact that you want to tie in non-crypto people into the gaming aspect of EvoVerse and or EvoVerses, and it's a really nice in a summary of, I think, your motivation and your vision.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because we think like in our case, mm, as we say in the white paper, you will see that lots of people in the gaming community are not yet into crypto. Sometimes because they see like the projects and how to enter in crypto is really confusing. And sometimes because they have just heard bad things about crypto for some reason and they don't want to enter because they think like crypto is bad, crypto is wasting energy, crypto is a scam. And we know that people is key for a project to grow. You can see that in Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity started growing once they started reaching gamers that were not used to crypto, but they found that they could play and also earn with Axie Infinity, and they started joining. And we think that that's the right approach, but we also think right now it's a little complicated for most projects to open for non-crypto people. Like you have to learn about, for example, MetaMask, and it's not really that complicated if you put some time on that. But you need to put some time on that. You need to learn some concepts about that. And meanwhile, I think learning is important and more if money is related to that, because at the end it's money that you could lose. I also think you should try to make the way to join and the way to learn easier for the players. Mm, Lots of good examples are when you try to join a bank right now in the new banks where you don't need to do lots of paperwork. You just need to sync with an email or a phone number, and maybe you have to also do some kind of verification because laws. But it's really easy, and you don't even need to go to an office to open the bank account. Why they are growing that much? Because they are making really easy to new users to join. We think if we try to do the same in crypto, we will grow by a lot. And that's also one of the reasons to enter in Harmony, because Harmony is fast, is and it has really low fees, and that will help a lot to reach new users, because most non crypto users are not used to pay fees for doing some action in a video game. So we have to focus on keep those fees as lower as possible, at least if we want to reach those players.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with the fact that we need to make a new user experience super friendly, especially because to the mainstream, crypto is still pretty new. Not everyone, is like us. We know we took the time to learn it, but not everybody has the time or wants to learn it. Some people just really want to just get into it or just play the game for the game, right? And I love the way you mentioned how Harmony has the low gas fees, because um, a lot of my friends, when I try to bring them into crypto, they were like, "What? You have to pay money to do what? Everything?" And they'd just be really confused. And I think Harmony is a great way to bring them in to understanding crypto because of the low gas fees.
And another cool thing about Harmony is the community, because I remember when I first joined in blockchain, I had lots of questions. And I remember going to a Reddit. I'm not going to name the blockchain about that. But I remember posting a really silly question, but it was not really well received. I got lots of answers telling me like, you should already know that, go and learn. But I didn't get the answer. And if you go to Harmony Reddit, or if you go to Harmony forums, or even Twitter, you will see that community is really friendly. And yeah, that's also why we thought about launching first on Harmony, because we did a poll on Twitter asking where to launch first, and the tweet but basically explode because we got lots of really good answers from the Harmony community. So here we are.
For sure, for sure. Without the Harmony community, I wouldn't be here either because, like, initially I didn't know anything either, and it was because of the people I met here. It was the only reason that I knew what to do. If you don't mind, we'll move on to question 2 from Kevin. Will EvoVerses organize whitelist giveaways for their token launch on other projects? For example, here, he's very interested in crossover events.
Well, that's really interesting because yesterday we did a poll in our Discord because we saw some users were not really that happy about having a whitelist. So since we are trying to be as much transparent as possible, we thought about doing a poll just to check if our users want to use the whitelist or not. And yeah, the poll ended, and there is no whitelist anymore in our project. We are going to do a launch with a launchpad without whitelist. So no, they're not whitelist spots, but we are indeed going to do some kind of collaborations. Of course, not giving away things like whitelist, but doing some kind of giveaway with in-game items and things like that. Because that's another key thing about projects, in my opinion, is about collaborating each other. So yeah, that's the answer.
I think whitelist has been becoming more and more, I don't know, prominent within the ecosystems, and I feel like it's not being used correctly. I think a lot of projects are using to bump up their numbers, but then they fall short on their promises with whitelist, or their whitelist becomes too overpowered compared to just normal users, and so it's a really difficult thing to balance. And I think from a project's perspective, it's a good thing to gain momentum and gain an audience. But from the community's point of view, what I found out from talking to my community is that whitelists aren't really that key, and it's not really sought after for, especially if your community will not be able to make that whitelist. You're gonna have a lot more vocal people about who didn't make it rather than people who made it.
Yeah, I agree with that opinion. Also, one reason we wanted to do whitelist is because we are a small project, and as you said, whitelist really helps to reach more people. It's like a really powerful marketing tool, but yeah, it's not that fair. So I prefer to build an open community, something that we can be proud to be of, and something that we can say, hey, we did it fair, we did it by making everyone happy, even if that means growing slower, because I believe in growing by showing results. So I think even without whitelists, we will still grow. We just need to keep working.
100%. I think I share that same sentiment with you because I've heard from a lot of people, it's been so long, your members are still this or minting is still that. I think we will grow eventually with as long as we keep building our project, and we'll show with our results that in the end, hey, we're something to be known for. Moving on to the next question. Is the team doxed? Maybe at least to the Harmony team, or if not, why?
We are not, but just because we have just started. So my plans are to be dogs. We think it's important. I believe in non-doxed projects because we have seen some really successful projects being not toxic. But I think right now in community it's important because there are lots of scam projects out there. And meanwhile, being dogs doesn't guarantee anything because we have seen projects failing and scamming, even being doxed. We think it's a nice thing to do to show your community that you are really into the project. That this is not something that you want to do right now and let it die in few months. So yeah, we are getting ready our Harmony application, and there we will docs with the Harmony team, and probably later we will publicly docs ourselves. And also for the launchpad, we will also need two dogs. So yeah, that's is something we are going to do for sure.
100%. I really like the way you put it. That doxing gives a really powerful tool of reassurance to the community. Yes, while people who have dogs still scam or still fail, being able to go through that trust barrier with your community adds a lot into the believability and just connection with your audience.
Yeah, indeed.
Just got another question here. So how would you encourage users to hold the token long term rather than using it for short term flips? Many recent launches have shown big players using token launches for such purpose.
Well, there are two interesting things in our tokens. One is you can stake the token in the bank, like other projects do, to be able to vote on important decisions, like like the whitelist poll we did yesterday. We will do the same, but using the Harmony snapshot system to vote. So to do that, you will need to use your staked tokens. So that way you need those tokens. That's one way to keep the tokens there instead of being sold. But the other way is we are doing a section called the investor that is for staking rewards. And meanwhile, we believe we should allow people to sell them whenever they want. We also offer another way of staking, that is the time locked staking, that you will earn way more rewards. but you have to lock them for 12 months. So that way you have to choose if you want to earn quickly and be able to sell, but earning less, or if you prefer to just stake, just hold and forget, and earn way more. So those are the two ways to avoid selling, but also the following launches, like the Evo launches, when you will be able to start buying and selling our creatures. The first generation will be available to be bought by the holders of our token, because that way we can also like help people to stay with us and to trust our project, because they see a real use of our tokens. You can use them to stake, to earn rewards, to use in our decks, and also to vote and get access to new features just by having the token.
You have thought a lot about it, about how to retain people, and I think being able to answer that, like being prepared for it, is a really good quality to have. It shows that you know you've done your research and you're ready for questions like these.
Yeah, and I think one important thing about what I said is I want to give people the freedom to choose. I mean, as you can see, you can just, or you can time lock the tokens, for example. You can do whatever you want. You're free.
Mm,
You just have to choose what you prefer.
yeah. Besides Pokemon, what are the game or media franchises have inspired you in creating EvoVerses?
Oh, that's a really cool question, because we we are also really fans of playing lots of games. So there are lots of projects that inspire us. I will let Trispona answer that question, because he had to do lots of research.
Yeah. Like first we wanted to do an RPG game like Genshin Impact where you could run along the world. And we wanted to do an open world video game, so you wouldn't feel that restricted like in the principal Pokemon games where you just had to go through a main path and you couldn't go out from there. So Genshin Impact was one of our first games. Then Pokemon, of course, and we also thought about Animal Crossing. Why? Because in Animal Crossing, you have the possibility to. We haven't really tell this to people yet, but when you on the story mode or like the metaverse we are trying to create, you have the possibility to buy a house and to um, place furniture as you would like to. So Animal Crossing was the first idea we had, where you could buy furniture and place them on your house however you wanted. Also, I don't know if you've played it, you have the possibility to create designs. These designs could be created by whoever is playing our game and post them, so any other player could see those designs and buy them from them. So the creator of that design could get some benefit from creating those designs. not just us, but the own creator, giving artists some credit and also an incentive to work for us. Like they're not working, they are playing the game and getting some benefit from that. Also, I think, let's see, yeah, YouTubers live be- because of the way the game looks and also the camera view, the furniture placement. And I think, let's see, if I can remember, there was another one, but those were the main ones, the ones I already said. I
Well,
think,
another important one was one of the most famous Pokemon-like games, Temtem.
yeah,
We
that's it.
don't like all the systems they implemented on that game, but we like they try to be original with their ideas, not trying to just copy Pokemon, but trying to improve the idea, the concept. It's not like doing a Pokemon like game with everything like Pokemon, but it's more like building a new system based on how Pokemon had the original idea. Not copying, but improving. That's the point.
Also answering Barbarella, who asked the world mode gameplay of Pokemon Arceus. Yeah, that's more or less what we thought about. Like we wanted a Genshin Impact world where you could run around and where you could find the Evos, and wherever you find them, you could start the battle. I don't know if that's what you meant asking that question, but if that was, yeah, that was our idea to create an open world and be able to see the Evos freely running.
That's a really, really good answer. I really like the inspirations you took from all those different games. Seems like you you guys really did your research on those games, and
Yeah,
I'm glad that you guys had a really solid vision since the beginning.
but the thing is, it wasn't just research, but that we have already played all those games, and we wanted to create something that mixed all the features that we liked from those games.
Yeah, definitely. I think taking inspiration from different games, getting it in our own style and our own vision, touch to it. It adds so much individuality to it. Da-da-da. Okay. Next question from let's see from today from Killaby. Will you guys be using testnet?
Yeah, of course. We have plans. We are using it right now, but of course we are not disclosing it. But we have like a private channel in our Discord that is only for like a special perk for server booster that they will be able to access first to the closed beta of every part of the project, like the text, like the PvP, and that version will be in testnet, of course. And meanwhile, we plan to like to launch it first on that channel and get some feedback. We have plans to also launch the testnet version open for everyone later on. So you, let's say, the production build, or you can go to the beta that is coming to the project without having to worry about your money or funds, because you will be trying it in the testnet, so you can do whatever you want. Or even if you do something really weird and the UI is messy or something similar, you can always check it in the testnet, and you will be also able to report us in our Discord. So it's a really important thing for us, and it's a really nice way to get community feedback before launching, because that way you will be able to fix things before big issues happen. For example, let's say a button is not really like easy to find and it's a really important button, or maybe the interface is not looking good in, I don't know, maybe Arabic languages or similar. That kind of things, I think it's really important to use the testnet, because you let your players, your users, play without risking their funds.
Yeah, definitely. Talking about the gameplay a little bit more, a question from Chukapi is that, will you be putting your Evo to work by like a click and wait thing, making it RNG based, kind of like DeFi Kingdoms, how you just quest? Or will you be more so but do you guys have a vision that you can give us? Of how the, let's say, a normal gameplay would
haven't
be?
been since always. They appeared. Okay? I can't tell you more if you want to enjoy the game, but they were not always there. But humans are always able to find new ways to make new things work. So Evos are right now an important piece in the work, in the life of people in the EvoVerses. So to make that thing in the world fill the gaps with the reality, you will also be able to use your Evos in different ways. You don't need to use in your history mode or in your PvP mode, or if you are a more passive player and you don't want to be all day playing, we also offer a new way to use your Evos. You can put them on work. Inside the Evo world, there are some companies that are doing some kind of works. Like, let's say, for example, delivery company. You might want to send your Evos to work in that delivery company. You can do it inside the game by going to the office of that company and putting your Evos to work, or you also will be able to do that on our website, like you can do in other games, to send your like heroes or something similar to some quest. Well, you will be able to do something similar on different companies. You have to choose each Evo has its own stats, its own type, and it's not the same to send a butterfly to deliver a big package or to send a really big Evo to send the package. You can have different bonus since you are using the right Evo for that job. So yeah, you will be able to do some really cool things with your Evos, and also you will be able to send to work in two ways: a long quest where you can just send them to work and forget for a few weeks, or you can send them to work just for a few hours. Obviously, the amount of rewards will depend, but yeah, you will have several ways.
Really good answer, because a lot of games or a lot of different projects out there, they have one way of playing, and that's pretty much it. I think a really big thing about those successful games that you see out there, not on the crypto space or on the crypto space, is that there's multiple ways of playing. It has the accessibility for all types of players. Someone who may be working every day, not being able to play constantly, may just want to invest in the game and play it passively, whereas someone who has more free time, they might want to play and grind so that they can get a level higher, or be more ahead of the curve. And I really like the way that you set up plans for all different types of players.
Yeah, for sure. I know that not all the people have enough time to play, or maybe they don't like to play, but they want to be investor in the project. And you have to bring everyone a way to earn from this game. You have to let your players play the game and enjoy the game and discover a history, and at the same time be earning. You have to let your most competitive players to rank in the leaderboard and get rewards. And you have also to think about investors, people that don't want to play, but they want to generate some passive profits. And you will be able to, like the sponsor I added in the white paper, that I don't know if we have time to talk about that.
Oh, you're asking me if we have enough time?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Take your time. We've got plenty of time.
Well, I think that's a really important thing in a project like this. Some other projects like Axie Infinity are doing that kind of thing. It's called a sponsorship or a scholarship or whatever you want to name it. But we have seen some issues there because you have to manage everything by yourself, and we have seen people being scammed by that thing because you have no real control over the profits and the evils, the creatures in this case. So we created a sponsorship program when, let's say, you have some evos, but you don't want to play PvP, or you are not good in PvP, because not everyone is good playing PvP. And well, you have a really good Evo that you don't want to sell, but you also don't want to play. So what do? You put them in the sponsor program, and you will get requests in the website and in game from other players. So you can check their stats, how well are they performing in the game, and you will see their requirements, like how they want to split profits, and you can accept or decline those requests. And once you accept one of those requests, the Evo will be sent to them just for a few weeks. And every reward they earn from the PvP using that Evo will be shared with you under the terms you set. So there is no way to scam, there is no way to confusions. Everyone will have their profit there. And you will be able to see how is your Evo performing, how is your sponsored player playing, if they are playing, if they are not playing. So I think it's a new way to do the same thing but improved.
I definitely think that the innovation there is super interesting, and I think it also allows a lot of more, how do I say, accountability between players. I guess my only question is, what happens if I take someone's order and then I keep losing? What happens then? And then the rankings go down. Will that negatively impact the person who took on the order or something like that?
That's a thing I thought. We will set like in some contracts in real life, you have like a closing clause. I don't know the word. It's like when you are in a contract and some conditions are not being fulfilled, you have the right to end the contract. And in this case, you will also have that feature. Both of the parts, both the players. For example, let's say you lend the Evo to a player, but that player is not with it, it's not generating. You'll be able to set some like, or the player and of the times. And if those conditions are not met, the contract will be cancelled. And that's not gonna be unfair because before those conditions. So if you see those conditions and you accept those conditions, you must follow those conditions. That's our take, let's say, about how to avoid these kind of things.
Yeah, that's a really redundant way of doing it, and it's a really good way to do it. I think in my head, it really allows for more concrete and, like I said before, accountability between two players.
But I think an important thing there is we know that lots of communities, like in Axie Infinity, lots of Discord communities were growing because they wanted to create guilds for sharing or lending Axies. And we know that some people will think, hey, but by having a system to manage that kind of things, and you won't let communities to grow around that system because you will control everything. But it's not like that. First, because well, we are in blockchain, so you will be able to access the contracts. You will be able to call by yourself. So if you want to do that kind of things, you will also be able to do. But even if you want to create like your own tool, for most of our server things, we will have an open API. So let's say some guild wants to create their own dashboard call the contracts and manage the lending between the guild members in private, they will be able to. They will have the tools. We want to give our way to do the things, and we also want to give our players the way to do the same thing by themselves. Maybe they will even create a better system so they can improve the game. This is a live thing. We are not just keeping it centralized.
For sure. Yeah, I really like the way that it's adaptative. The next question is from two people. It's from Frenchie and from Frenchie and from Midosa. You have big emphasis on being more accessible to less experienced crypto users. What are the key points that make your game and decks? So I think we're different from any other. Like will why would the Harmony user use EvoVerses decks compared to other decks out there already?
Yeah, that's a good question because we know right now there are lots of decks out there and more coming. So it almost seems like a decks war. And in the beginning, we didn't want to create our own decks for that reason. The only reason we are creating our own decks full control over how we want it to important right now because we are first focusing in the crypto community. But once we want to grow and reach gamers, non-crypto gamers, we will need to be able to make it really, really easy, at least for a start. Like, you will need to be able to do every trade inside the game. You will have your own shops inside the game to do every trade. So, to let new people easily join in our decks, we need to manage, to control everything there. And we are also thinking like in the future have some kind of integration with platforms that I know it has really big fees. So that's why we don't think it will be good for our current users, but it will be really useful for non-crypto gamers because it's one step less to do to get inside of decks. We also are talking with some really cool projects here in Harmony that are focusing in generating tools to help people to join in crypto. And we also have plans to make the UI really, really, really easy with I don't know how to explain that, but have you ever seen some kind of guide when you enter in a website, or like the tooltips where you can put your mouse over and see like an explanation that what is that button doing and why you should click it or not? Well, the easiest way to onboard users in the project.
Again, I love the emphasis on bringing, non-crypto users into the game because, as I think we share the same sentiment in that we are creating a game that's going to be our focus. a question by Mr. V Crypto is that will we see a geocaching system like Pokemon Go?
That's that's something some of our team members asked. We don't have that in our plans right now because there are too much things to launch first. It would be a really nice thing, and if we grow enough, we are sure we will think about that. But to do that kind of things, you really need a huge player base because if not, it won't be that fun. So once we grow more, once we launch the PvP and the first season of the story mode, yeah, we can start thinking about that and trying to see if we fit in the market. But no, right now we are not trying to do
And I
that.
guess one final question by Rickard is that he thinks that whatever we have said so far has been really great, but how are we going to make all of this happen in such a short time?
Well, I don't know why he said short time, but I think we should check the roadmap in another perspective. We are not launching everything right now. We are following small steps. Like, first, we are launching the token and the DEX. With that, we will start building the community to get ready for the PvP. We have plans to launch at the end of May or beginning of June the alpha of the PvP mode, where some users will be able to play and try a little. Then, midsummer, we will launch the first season of the PvP, and in September we will start by launching the story mode, but not the entire history. Our history in the game is divided in seasons, like other games like Genshin. And on each season, you will have a generation of Evos. You will have a region, a full map with NPCs, quests, and so on, and lots of histories and things to discover. But in September, we are not launching the whole season. The whole season is like 9 months or so. We are releasing the first 1 or 2 chapters of that season. So, yeah, it's true, it's a lot of things, but it's also true we are doing it in small steps. We are not, we know that we won't be able to launch everything if we try to accomplish everything right now. There is no time. You need to do it in really small pieces of work, like launching small things one each once per each month or so. We will be able to do that. I think we have a pretty good team, and once we launch, we will be focusing in growing more team members and scaling. So yeah, I will work hard to make it real. For that, don't worry.
100%. I think we are good to wrap up here, unless you guys have any final notes that you want to say. I know I've got some things to share about the Dingos project, a little bit of sneak peeks after, but I'll hand you the mics first if you guys got anything else to say before we wrap it up.
Well, not really too much to say. I would love to leak more content, but I can't because if not, my team will hate me to be all day leaking. I'm all day in my Discord trying to leak things, and what you don't see is, meanwhile I type in the general channel, hey, do you want a new leak? My team is telling me in private message, hey, can you stop leaking things? We want to work, not just be worried about what you are leaking. But I would like to thank you for invite us here, because, well, it was my first time in something like this, and I'm not really used to talkings and things like that. I'm more a coder than a talking person, but I don't know. I really like it to be here. So thank you for invite us.
No
Yeah.
worries. I think you both did an amazing job, especially you, Alevo. I think you really are a people's person. I'd say you're really good at that.
Thank you, I
Oh,
guess.
okay. Well, and that's it, Alepo. Stop leaking because it's making our team work much harder than we should.
Well, then it's a good thing. I will continue leaking.
Okay. If you want to stay, you guys can stay. We are also gonna have a trivia later, a Gartic trivia. So basically, it's Pictionary. Um, I've got two. I've got three prizes for the top three. I've got two master trainer roles that are going to be given by the EvoVerses team. So essentially, the master trainer role is basically boosting the server for a month. So you'll get that for free for only a month. So if you place first and second, you can get that plus 500 won plus Dingos and stuff like that. Other than
That's right. So
that,
no, I just wanted to say that, yeah, I will stay here around. So I want to see how that trivia is going.
yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Okay.
I would need to leave to take another call. But yeah, thank you so much, and good luck, everyone who is participating on the trivia. See you, and thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. If you guys look towards the sneak peeks channel, I'm gonna drop in some stuff. So I showed you the badges 2 days ago. We've got an updated picture by our artist. It's not our full time artist; it's a commissioned artist. I must have known them from Silververse. It's Sejin. So if you take a look at sneak peeks now, there is this. So basically, with this, what we have is a tiered achievement. You get, after 500, you get the wings. After that, I don't know, 1,000 or something, you get the shield, and then 20,000, you can get like the flames plus the snake. Or we could even do things such as rankings and all that stuff. In terms of other sneak peeks, we've also got the music from Mr. Crypto. So we're gonna take a bit of a snippet from this master version for the podcast theme song, but you can bet that we're gonna use this song again within the game. I think we're good to end the AMA stage here. We'll hold the trivia in 10 minutes, so if you are in AEST or UTC plus 11, that's in 11:20. But yeah, we're gonna hold it in 10 minutes, so I see you in Gartic Trivia. I will end the stage here. Thanks everyone for coming. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.